Treasure.
Hey guys,
Fine,
welcome to It's Chelsea Plays, and today we are going for the first episode of Reaction Time. Go make sure to see that series, and go make sure to see Goo Town. That's also a series, and ASMR Satisfaction.
We haven't done that one yet, but
yeah, we will get to it soon.
yeah.
Because I know that not a lot of people are watching this right now, so
Yeah.
that's a crazy person you see every day.
Okay.
So today we are going to be watching.
Pull up in your browser.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, today we're going to be watching three horror films today.
The first one.
They should be shortish.
Yeah. And if it's too long, we'll pop.
Let's watch it.
It was April 1st, 2001. I was at home watching TV when I heard a big bang on my back door. I didn't know who or what it was. Thought it was a raccoon or something, so I kept watching TV. I will never forget what I heard. Someone whispered, "I am coming for you." I turned to see who it was, but no one was there. I went outside and yelled, "Who's there?" I went back inside, and then I saw it. It was a man with a white rabbit mask holding a kitchen knife. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife and turned on the light. The guy took off his mask, and it was my friend, Fred. I was relieved, and he yelled, "April Fools!" I asked how he managed to get so far when he whispered in my ear. He looked confused. To my surprise, he said, "I never whispered in your ear." That's when I knew something was in my house. I told Fred to hide and call the cops. When the cops got there, they saw a man with long black hair robbing stuff from my house. He had a pistol and some pocket knives. The cops told me he had broke out of prison a couple days before the incident.
But hell no.
Shoot, the guy was eating glass. Ooh, that's actually possibly.
Back then,
That one
my
was
brother and I used to play with a lot of guns,
Yeah, so
especially water
we're
guns.
only watching two more left.
One night, we got our
Just say it's
flashlights and
true.
pretended we were the police.
If this one's quite long,
It was around 10 p.m. We were in the backyard with my brother's friend playing when we saw a tall black guy. We were just staring at him. I don't know who he was or why he was there. Then he suddenly said, "Hey, can I play with you?" "Bitch, please," my brother said. Then the tall guy seemed to go into a strange position and smiled at us creepily. I was so scared, so I aimed my gun at the guy when my flashlight lit up the face of the man. I will never forget what I saw. There was a big X on the middle of his forehead, and the guy was eating a piece of glass, literally eating it and bleeding. We didn't know what to do while we ran back into the house. My brother's friend jumped outside the fence and he didn't come back. We were standing near the window and my brother told me to call Mom and Dad. When I called my mom, I heard a loud smash coming from the big window on the front door. My brother quickly grabbed my shirt and dragged me upstairs. At that moment, I couldn't talk to my mom because then I would make a sound. We stayed silent for about 20 seconds. Then we heard a footstep near my side. I was about to tilt my head to take a look when I suddenly heard a gun get reloaded. My brother quickly punched the guy. I ran so fast downstairs. We had to live. We were almost to the door when we heard a gunshot. We quickly ran to the nearest neighborhood and told someone what happened. We called Mom and Dad and also dialed 911. When the police came to our house, they found fresh blood trails from the living room to the bathroom. There, they found the guy bleeding to death, as if the guy wanted us to watch him commit suicide or possibly kill us. Well, I don't know, but that was some serious madhouse shit, and I would never, ever forget what happened. Black-eyed woman.
The black-eyed woman.
I was 11 years old at the time. It was a horrible
I've
event.
never seen black-eyed girls.
I lived in Texas, but my family decided to go to California during the summer of 2015.
It looks like
It
she has
wasn't
black
going to
eyes,
be a
but
long
she's really
time,
dark eyes.
so my family
Yeah,
of 6,
my
including me,
Yeah,
stayed at
someone
my
showed
aunt's
me.
house.
Her name is Natalie.
One night, my parents went to
Oh
a
wait,
party,
a black guy.
and both of my brothers and I didn't want to go, so we stayed behind. My aunt's daughter stayed with us too. It was around 6 p.m. My parents said they were coming back around 2 a.m.
There's somebody
Hearing
trying to kill
that
us.
gave me goosebumps, since we were staying at a 2-story house. I've always been scared of 2-story houses for this reason.
Why?
As soon as our parents left, we all decided to eat snacks. Well, we wanted to, but there weren't any. My cousin asked us if we wanted to go to the store with her. Since she was already 19, she could drive by herself. My brother
supposed to be
said
able to
yes,
drive
but
at
I
16.
told him
So
I
she's
do
a
want
parent,
snacks, but I don't want to go.
She's a
I thought that my
grown-up. She's not a
brothers would
grown-up.
want to stay
She's a
behind
grown-up.
too,
So she's a
since they
grown-up.
were just 2
She
years
can
older
take
than
care
me.
of them.
But instead, they just said, okay. They all left without me. I was all alone.
What?
15 minutes
Why did you leave
in, I
your
was
son
sitting on the
there?
couch playing on my iPad.
I don't.
Suddenly, I heard a sound coming from upstairs. I decided to check what it was,
I don't.
but as
If
soon as I
Leanna
started
did
to
that
go up
me,
the
I'd,
stairs,
like, run to the
a glass
car
cup
quickly
fell down
and
the
hide in
stairs.
it.
I ran to my uncle's room and hid inside the closet.
What I know.
After 2 minutes of hiding, the lights in the room started flashing.
The girl kind of like that.
I could see it from the crack under the door.
And go away. Without me, I would.
I wanted to text my brother, but I left the iPad on the couch. Soon after, I heard another sound from upstairs. Well, that's how I knew that whatever was doing all the scary stuff was definitely upstairs. I decided to run out of the house, and then try to ask the next door neighbors to let me into their house for a bit. But before I could, I checked the upstairs window when I got outside, and I saw a figure in one of the rooms. It was a clear image since it was barely 7 p.m. The figure was definitely the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I saw a woman with a black dress. She was pale and had dark eyes. It was as if she accidentally messed up her makeup and got black makeup all around her eyes. She also looked kind of like a nun.
But she does really have black eyes.
I stood there, watching her for like 10 seconds. And then I saw a car driving in from the side. I moved near the garage and the car came closer. It parked at the house. I realized it was my cousin with both of my brothers. I was relieved. They asked me why I was outside, and I said I wanted to take a picture of the house from outside. I didn't tell them the truth. They didn't realize I didn't have my iPad when I said this. Once we got inside the house, I followed them upstairs. I was obviously behind them since I was scared. Nothing happened the rest of the day, until that night. It was 10 p.m. It was raining. I just wanted to see the thunder, so I moved the curtains to look out the window. A bit of light came in because of the lightning. And that's when I saw it again. The figure was in the neighbor's parkway, just staring at the house. I will never forget that night, no matter how hard I try. Sometimes, while I'm having fun, I'll stop and remember, and the thought always ruins my day. The thought that the woman from that night might always be out there, looking for me.
You know, that just one scared me because everybody.
Should we watch one more?
Let me check.
No, we still
This
have
event happened when
Yep,
I
we
was
should
around
watch one
13
more.
years old.
It's only 8 minutes.
I was going on a family road trip with my parents
We'll
and
watch
siblings.
2 more.
My
Really
brother
have
was
enough
16 at the
time.
time, and my
It's more
half-sister
longer.
was 21.
I think you're
I
gonna have
don't
to-
completely
You guys
remember
promise.
where we were going or where we
We can just
stayed
make
since
another
it was
mini
almost
video.
15 years
We're gonna
ago.
have to do it live.
All I
It's a big
remember
series.
was that we rented a cottage in a small village.
Oh, and we're only gonna
Next
post
to the
these
village
videos
was a lot of
once
mountains
every
surrounding the
week.
perimeter.
Not
And
once
there were
every week,
probably
like
only 20
probably,
houses in the
twice or
village.
4
Next
times
to the
like every
cottage
week.
was a small lake that
4
was
times
big
a
enough
week.
to
When
kayak
we're
in.
with each other, maybe.
And to the right
Yeah,
of
but
the
go check
lake
out
was
Kitty
a
Lover.
small shed.
That not me.
The shed was very
I will
old,
be
and
doing
its ceiling had been
some
poorly
not
repaired.
reaction time, not reaction
There was
time.
ivy
I'll be doing
growing all
like. Can we also
over
do
it.
Roblox videos?
Although this may not seem scary, the door was wide
That
open,
Roblox
and
is
the
not a
place
series,
we were
it's
staying
just
at was all fenced
not a
off
series.
with a
Like
really
I started
nice
off.
fence.
Because I know scary
Probably
stories.
meant that no
I
one
started
would
off
be
doing
able to
the
come inside
series
the
of
property.
Roblox, and then I
Later
quit
that
it
same day,
because I didn't
my
want to do it
brother
anymore because I don't like
decided
Roblox.
to
scary
check
stories
out
on
nothing else to do
I don't
other
like
than swim
blocks
in the
very
lake
much.
before dinner.
I
And I got rid of the house lots. I got rid of the two
It would
houses
get
in the
dark
mountains.
much
I mean, like,
earlier than in the
scary
summers.
Like,
We
you're
walked
reading
up towards
them,
the
but
shed,
you're not in
and
the
as we
story.
walked towards it, we realized that a source of light was shining through the ceiling. It didn't seem like it was a normal ceiling light, but was almost like a torch. We saw the light slowly move around in between the cracks of the shed. Then, in one sudden motion, the light randomly pointed at us. My brother and I were petrified by the situation.
What does
We
her
both
dad
looked at
look
each
like
other
that?
with
Yeah,
blank
me too. I was like, he's
expressions.
old. He looks like modern.
Our parents were in the lounge watching TV, so they wouldn't be able to hear us at all if we cried out for help. I don't like to be cliche, but my big brother is a very strong person, emotionally, physically, and mentally. So I was surprised when I saw his lower lip tremble out of the corner of my eye. I thought he was going to protect me by telling me what to do, but instead he just stood there, frozen, like me,
Bruh.
with a petrified face
Bruh.
as the bright light blinded us
What's
through
your
the
damn
gaps
dog?
between the walls of the shed for what felt like an eternity. Suddenly, the light switched off. A small sense of relief hit me as the light turned off, but I was still scared for my life. Because the light was shining on our faces for so long, our eyes were not used to the dark. When we tried to escape by running in the opposite direction towards the cottage, we couldn't see where we were going. Then, as if the situation couldn't get any worse, we heard a loud shuffling sound coming from the shed. We could hear the sound starting to crescendo as we ran silently towards the cottage. The sound was getting louder and louder. Soon after, I could just make out a hollow voice coming from behind us. I hesitantly looked behind me. To my horror, I saw a middle-aged man standing next to the shed with a flashlight in his hand. His hands were covered in what looked like blood, and his hair was greasy as if he never showered once in his life. He had a long beard that looked tangled and disgusting. In a faint voice, he said, "Come here, child. I have many toys in here. Do you want to play some games with me?" He said this with a creepy smile and eyes wide open without
We
blinking.
don't want to play with the middle.
He looked as if he was talking
They don't
to
even
me.
know that has blood on
I
it.
instantly screamed as loud as I could, and my brother grabbed my hand with dear life as we sprinted back into the cottage. We told our parents what happened, and I hugged my brother and sister with tearful eyes. They didn't believe us at first because they were so shocked by the situation and so confused. But when they saw the monstrous man's face pressed up against the window with a bloody butcher's knife in his hand, they screamed in horror and immediately called the police. The police were nearby since it was a small town, but as the sirens came, we saw the man run back to his shed, and unfortunately, they never caught him. They asked us what he looked like and what he said to us. The police told us that a girl that looked similar to me and was roughly the same age as me was murdered last month because of that man we saw from the shed. I can't imagine what would have happened if we stayed in a busy town that weekend, or if the police didn't make it in time. I am now scared to go near sheds after that incident, and I will never be the same. A situation like this has not happened since, but I really hope that man is either caught or is being chased by the police, because those few moments scarred me for life.
Okay. Let's see how much time.
I am a 16-year-old
13.
girl.
Okay.
Years
Thank
ago,
you
last
guys for
summer,
watching.
I left my places to
Bye.
visit my aunt.
So this is enough.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure for the next series. Bye.
Bye.
Pause it.